Breaker Broke 23. This is probably going to be the shortest review of a Bluetooth speaker I've ever done. This is the OontZ Angle 3 Ultra from Cambridge SoundWorks. Straight up right now, I'll just go over the sound quality of this thing. This thing has probably the best sound quality of my speakers in the collection. It's the closest to the JBL, maybe even a little bit more as far as volume goes. It's not at $100 and some odd. This thing retails on Amazon for roughly $39 and change. That may vary a little bit here and there. Okay, so let's go over some of the specs real quick. It has two speakers. It has a left and right driver. It has a passive radiator in the bottom, rubberized strips right here, which also act as a suspension, which is really neat because that means when you set it on a hard surface, it will decouple from that surface and give you better sound. This is an extremely efficient speaker. This thing, you will hear stuff on this that you never thought you would hear on a Bluetooth speaker. It's got a great sound to it, just the right amount of high end, just the right amount of low end. It's not muffled. In fact, because it has 14 watts of power in it, it can actually distort. But that's not a bad thing because it has enough power in it to make up for, say, an older or an elderly Bluetooth device that you have that may not just drive your other speakers hard enough or well enough to achieve a high volume. So this will do it. This will fill up a room. Okay, specifications. We've gone over the two speakers, the 14 watts output. It has a 20-hour runtime. I personally got 26 hours before I finally just gave up and recharged it. It takes 2 to 7 hours to recharge. My average charge time was about 3.5 hours. This is IPX7 waterproof. Treat this as water resistant. Don't treat these speakers as waterproof because you will ruin them. Honestly, I've ruined a couple speakers by doing that, and a couple years later, they actually do corrode inside and go dead. This also makes a great hands-free speakerphone device. This is excellent for using it for a hands-free device with your smartphones. You can use two of these speakers at the same time, so you can pair up a pair of them and have a true left and right sound for maybe in-home or patio use, which I really like that idea. However, I do not have a second speaker, so I can't check for latency between the two. Speaking of latency, volume-wise, this is one of the best speakers I have currently for listening to TV. But that being said, it's not advertised as a low latency speaker that I know of, that I've seen. So there is some latency and some lag time. So I probably, if you're a lip reader like I am, I probably wouldn't necessarily use this for TV, but it can and it will reach a good volume, so it works pretty good in that respect. You can use this with Siri, Echo Dot, and all that kind of stuff. I do not use those products, so I honestly cannot test and see how well that works. For music, this thing is absolutely awesome. It comes from Cambridge SoundWorks, so it's going to be good. It's going to sound good. That's a Henry Kloss design theory. So lots of bang for your buck and very, very good sound. So we'll run over the user features real quick. Very easy to use. And by the way, as a side note, this is probably the easiest pairing Bluetooth speaker I have ever used. I'm very impressed with that. So we have power on off. We have volume up, down. We have play, pause here in the middle. We have track up, track down. We have a Bluetooth pairing button here. This is also the button that you push to answer the phone when you get an incoming phone call, as some of them are the play pause button, not with this one, it's actually opposite. We have the little microphone up top. This works very well for hands-free phone device. You can use this out in the yard with, like, say, your neighbor mowing the lawn or something, and you can hear who you're talking to, and you can't with some of these other speakers. I'm not slamming these other speakers. I put some of my favorite ones out here to show you what the Angle 3 is up against, and I'm going to tell you, it's better. It's just better. I wish... Wow. This is on loan to me, by the way. Thank you, Darren. This is on loan to me from a good friend of mine, Darren, and I'm going to buy one of these. So just as a side note there. Okay, so In this little hatch here, we have our micro USB charge port. This only charges, it gives you no audio in or out. And then, of course, we have the 3.5 millimeter headphone jack, stereo headphone jack for auxiliary input. So you can use this on a PC that may not have an amplifier in it, or an old laptop, or even do what I do with old iPods. I still have, iPods. So amazing. So anyway, I really like this design. I really like the sound of it. For $34.99, it is probably the best bang for your buck that I've heard up to date. It's Bluetooth 5.0 technology. So we're going to get 100 feet range. We're going to get excellent sound quality. Do I keep saying that? It sounds really good, okay? Let's see, 100-foot range, sound quality. Oh, and then the pairing. The pairing on this thing is just amazing. It will store, I believe, 7 or 8, I believe 8 devices in here. So that's a good thing. If you want to add another device to it, or a strange device as I call it, then you would just hit the Bluetooth button and it'll pair up to that and wipe out one of your other devices in memory, but that's okay. I love the push button feature on this. Some of these speakers, they're momentary push buttons or push to hold for certain functions and whatnot, and I really like this one. So we're going to momentarily push this. We'll see the red pilot light comes on, and then the blue flashing LED up top means it's in scan mode right now, or pairing mode. I really like that. You just turn on whatever your last used device was, and it'll hook right up. There are no annoying noises, blips, or voices coming out of this thing when you turn it on and off. And when you pair to it, it gives a very soft chime. So you could do this late at night and not wake up the spouse or the family members. I really like that action too. And then to turn it off, push and hold for 2 seconds. 1, 2. It's off. It's a done deal. So yeah, really extremely easy to use. I really like it. If I forgot anything like that, I'll put it in the description down below. I also do updates on these. So, this is a brand new video as far as November 17th, 2020 goes. But if in a year or so this thing goes dead, or in a couple months it goes dead, we will report that and put that down in the description below. I do like to do that. On all of my tests and reviews, I actually physically use this. This isn't like those bogus top 5 junk videos out there where just people pull clips from Amazon and try to sell you garbage. I wouldn't have made this video if I didn't like this speaker. I have done that. I have had speakers brought into me as to where, they just don't perform, and I actually will not do a video on them. So yeah, so I don't play that game. When Breaker Broke 23 recommends something, you can trust this recommend, okay? Because I'm not really messing around with this stuff. We have, that comes with it in the box, we have the micro USB charge cable, no AC wall adapter. However, I prefer using my own cell phone wall adapters anyway. You get a better charge. I used to try to charge them off the laptop, and it takes too long, and you don't get a good hot charge. So don't do that. Use an old AC adapter from a cell phone. We have 3.5 millimeter stereo auxiliary plug that comes with it. And both of these are like 2.5-ish feet to 3 feet in length. So there you have it. The OontZ Angle 3 Ultra by Cambridge SoundWorks. Totally straight up an awesome sounding speaker, and big time bang for your buck. This would make a great Christmas gift to yourself or a family member. I'll tell you what, you give this to your wife or one of your kids, and man, you're going to be sitting pretty for a whole year. I'll guarantee you that. Also, real quick, as another side note, I am not only a music fan, I'm a talk radio junkie. And I was just listening to this in the shower. I had this over on the sink, and out of all the other speakers that I own, I heard this one the best through having the shower water go and everything. And then, of course, I noticed something else. One of my favorite talk radio personalities has equipment on in the background, and this is the first speaker that I've ever heard his fans in the background. So the details that this thing has just totally blows these other ones away, and it especially at $34.99. So all right, Breaker Broke 23 over and out. Thank you very much for watching. Please leave questions or comments down below, and don't forget to hit that subscribe button, because we've got more Bluetooth stuff coming up. All right. Have a good day. Thank you very much.